Okay, so I'm recording this because this is honestly just a way for me to get out my feelings. Because I don't have anybody to talk to because I'm at work. And I can't talk to patients about this kind of stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Part of me wants to post it online, like really, really bad. And hopefully it vibes with somebody and they know that they're not fucking crazy. But I don't know if I'll actually do it. I'm kind of a chicken, which is part of the whole thing. But hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm 28. I live in the east coast of the USA. I don't know how much I should say. I can say I grew up around Baltimore in Maryland. I grew up like in the outskirts of the city, so like where it kind of turns into the suburbs. But if you like drive a mile, you're in the city. Anyway, I grew up Catholic. Did all the sacraments, all that stuff. Was closeted until I was 18. And I have some pretty severe depression, and it really fucks with me, like bad. It's better. This is kind of the best that it's ever been now that I'm 28 and I've been doing a lot of work and stuff on it. But like it was really, really bad. And I kind of just muddled through grade school, being sad all the time, focusing a lot on school, trying to be really funny to people that I met. I don't know if I guess it did work a little bit because people did enjoy being around me, it seemed like, but it was kind of at a distance. Like we didn't really hang out too much outside of school. I never like got very deep into talking about how I feel in the greater scheme of things. It was more like, how do you feel in this moment? Like, oh, I'm at school. It's kind of like, whatever. Or we're cracking jokes. That's fun. But nothing too deep. And I didn't really get into it with my family on like a deep level either. And I have a good relationship with my family, which I know not everybody has. So I'm very grateful for that. Like, I'm so lucky. Because it really could have gone in any kind of direction. Anyway, so my point that I wanted to record this for is because I am having more or less this existential crisis right now, because of the show Heated Rivalry and what it's doing to my head in a good way. Like it is, I'm definitely having a breakdown, but it is needed. Like it's the kind of thing where like sometimes things need to break so you know that they need fixing. I'm a therapist, so like when I talk to my clients sometimes I'll mention like pain is normal, like heartache is normal. That's it serves a purpose. Like that means that you care. That means that something mattered to you. Or if your back hurts, that means there's something going on. So that your body's way of saying like, hey, something's not right here. Whether it's fixable or curable, or if you can alleviate it, that's beyond my expertise. But with stuff like that, like there's a reason we feel these things. And at a base level, they serve a function. But when they get to like too extreme, that's when it starts to be like, okay, well, I appreciate the warning, body, thank you. But now we're going a little bit overboard with anxiety or depression or anger or whatever. Anyway, so like this thing I'm going through, I can very much recognize that it's good for me. I needed this. And it's been building up for years. It has been building up for so long. And it's funny because now that I look back on it, I can see that it's happened for other people, probably not in the same way, but just to do two more like little asides. A couple years ago, a movie called 365 Days came out on, I believe it's Netflix, and I want to say it's Polish. I could be wrong though. Um, I'm not sure what language it was. I never like watched it from start to finish, but it's more or less, it was a series of like erotic romance novels. I don't know how many books there were, but they made a movie. I think they did a series of all the books for movies. But my mom watched it, and turns out she loved it. And she loved it so much, she would watch it, and then like a couple days later, she would watch it again. And something in that movie got her brain clicking in a certain way to where all of a sudden it's not like she was a different person, but it was like almost like she had a renaissance without sounding like dramatic about it. But she suddenly had like a huge boost of confidence that I've never seen. And it was nice to see her in such a good mood. Not that she was miserable or anything. I mean, we had fun, you know. She was nice to me. We had a good time when we would go on vacation and stuff. But just the way that she held herself was so different. She bought a two-piece bathing suit in my entire life, growing up, going to the beach, seeing old photos of her and my dad, like at the beach or at the pool or whatever, even before she had kids. Never saw her in a two-piece, not that I can remember. So, like, for her to suddenly buy one and wear it, not only, like, in the pool in the backyard, but her to, like, go to a very public beach and walk around like I don't give two fucks and flop down in the sand and dig for seashells, and she's like, and what? Who cares? And I was so happy for her, but I don't think I really realized at the time what it all probably means for her ultimately in terms of like taking a new stance on how she goes about navigating the world. And she felt beautiful, like you couldn't tell her otherwise, and it was really nice to see. And it's continuing to this day. Like now she reads a bunch of romance novels, and that somehow gives her the fuel to be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm wearing what I want, I'm doing what I want, you know, the clock is ticking, I'm not getting time back, so why should I be miserable? And then my other aside is I was in a long-term relationship with a guy. We bought a house together. We lived together for we were together in the house for 2 years. And then I want to say it was the final season of Heartstopper that came out, and he had watched it, and our relationship was rocky for a while, but something similar happened for him where, like, yeah, Heartstopper's not like an erotic show necessarily. I mean, yeah, they kiss, but you know, it's not graphic in that type of way. But like the romance in that, the dynamic, the dedication, the love that is displayed in that was so strong that he like reflected on everything, reflected on the relationship, and he really came back and was like, you know, came to me and was like, you know, I'm really not happy. We need to work on things, or we should really break up. And it had been an idea I think we both had been floating around of like, things are just not, we're not dead miserable, but we're definitely not as happy as we should be for two people in a relationship that own a house together. So we ended up breaking up. We still live together now, actually, because it's cheaper to live with your ex and split rent or mortgage than it is to pay rent. So we get along fine. Anyway, so that was my other aside of like, I didn't really realize it at the time, but these two people really close to me that I've known for so long. I mean, obviously my mom longer, but like that I know a lot about, things had developed to such a way that when they experienced this piece of media, they like cracked a shell and they could finally see through it. And when that crack happens, I think we are presented with a choice of just peer out, and then the crack kind of heals over and you're back in your shell, or you bust out. You don't want to stay in the shell anymore, and it's like, well, the shell is at least safe. I'm cool in here. I don't like it in here particularly. I want more, but this is the safe thing. I don't want to go out. I'm too scared. I don't want to take the risk, whatever. But they both broke out of it. And I think I don't think that media had ever really done it for me necessarily, but I can see moments in my life where like the shell cracked for me too. And I looked out and I was like, I could be happier. I could feel better about myself. XYZ. And it happened recently before I watched Heated Rivalry. This past summer, a really good friend of mine that I play games with invited me to Provincetown, Massachusetts, for like just a fun weekend with some of his friends that he had met there, and through mutual friends of his. And we've known each other for a while. We would play games and call and talk on the phone and just goof off all the time. It was really fun. So he invited me up there, hung out for the weekend, and it was honestly one of the best weekends I've ever had in my life. Like, the friend group that I met there was so sweet. They were all so nice, and they all were like so different than each other. Like, it was really a hodgepodge of people. They didn't all look the same. They weren't stuck up. They had all different types of backgrounds, all different types of jobs, but they just meshed together. And it was like, it almost reminded me of like if you've ever gone over to somebody's house and they've got like their extended family over there or whatever, and they're all just like vibing and they mesh and they gel together so well. That's kind of what it felt like going there. They welcomed me with open arms, and it was so nice. Like, and I've never felt so free before to just be like, you know what? Fuck it. Again, kind of like I talked about with my mom, of like, I don't care. I'm doing it. I don't want to feel that way anymore. I'm trying something new. Like, I mean, I am a very shy, very, very reserved person. I can imitate being more outgoing, but it takes a lot out of me. But like, I didn't feel like I had to look away when I was checking out guys. I didn't feel like people were gonna look at me and be like, oh God, what's wrong with him? What else? I got fitted for a leather harness. I'm not even into leather, but I was like, you know what? Why not? Because it's something I'd seen in movies. I'd seen, honestly, I'd seen in porn. It's stuff I read about in books, like the Tom of Finland art is very that. I was like, you know what? Why not? I'll try it. Because, what's the harm? And not that I'm like a leather person now, but I was like, you know what? I'm buying one. And then I did. And a guy like at like a little boutique like helped pick out clothes for me, and he was nice. Like, yeah, he's a salesman, sure, but like it just felt so good to feel comfortable and not feel totally on edge. What else did I do? I danced in public. I cannot think of a time that I've ever truly like moved my body like that in public, unless it was like the cha-cha slide or something at a party. Like at prom, I didn't dance. When me and my friends in college, when I would be like the designated driver and we'd go out to a bar, I wouldn't dance. I was way too self-conscious. But I was there, and it took a little bit for me to get warmed up, but at a certain point I was, dancing. One of the guys there, part of the friend group, he even convinced me to, like, at some point I had, like, went outside to kind of, like, avoid doing it, because this was, like, a bar. All the guys were dancing with their shirts off, and I was like, I can't be in here. So I was sitting out back, and he, like, was like, you're going back inside. And he got me to do that, and I took off my shirt, and I danced with my shirt off. For, I don't know how long I was in there. Like, time warped for me, and I wasn't even, like, drunk or anything. I had, like, a drink or two, but they were amaretto sours, so they're not that strong. And yeah, I was in my head a little bit, so I was, like, slipping ice cubes into my mouth out of my drink and, like, crunching them as hard as I could to try and focus on something. But I never thought I'd be able to do something like that. And I felt free. A guy kind of tried to dance with me, but I think I wasn't ready for that kind of thing yet. I wasn't there yet. But, like, the fact that even somebody wanted to do that is, honestly, I almost could cry right now if I wasn't, doing my big emotional talk on my phone or whatever. Because I never imagined I could feel that way. I never imagined somebody would like me, without knowing me, to want to dance. Especially because I don't think I'm a good dancer. I don't know if I am. And I guess I don't really need to know. So anyway, Provincetown, absolute blast. As my friend and me were driving back to his family's house, I was going to stay there a night, and then he was going to take me to the train station, and I was going to ride back down home. I bawled my eyes out in the car, and it was kind of more or less the things I'm saying right now of, like, I've been so sad, so depressed for so long that it really kind of was freeing. And I never thought I could feel that way, and I never thought I would feel the level of just, like, comfort that I did there. And it felt like I'd been this is a dramatic example, and I'm sure it's obviously different, but, like, an example in my head is, like, it feels like I got donated an organ, and the organ was working, and, like, my body was rejuvenated, and then somebody grabbed it and yanked it back out, because I had to go back to reality. I couldn't stay there forever. I honestly couldn't afford to, but also, you can't be on vacation forever. That's just, real life comes a-knocking. And that's kind of silly of me to say, because that was real life. Like, that happened. It wasn't a hallucination. It wasn't a dream. Like, I went there. I was there for 3 days. Had the time of my life. It was so fun. The food was really good, too. But yeah. So, that was Provincetown. So that was kind of the shell cracking. And I broke out for a little bit. But once I got back home, I kind of retreated back into the shell, I think. And it sealed back over. And that was last summer. So, about 6-7 months have passed since that, and I started to feel even worse. Like I said before, my depression, that intensity had been there most of my life. I think it started in middle school, and it kind of just progressed. It kind of changed shape a few times, but for the most part, it never really left. Like, even when I was in a relationship and I was enjoying myself, I still was miserable. Like, if I was laying alone in bed, like, it would creep up on me. Or if I was just solo for a little bit, it would leak in. And that's because ultimately the relationship isn't really the thing that I need to be happy. There's a lot more to it than that. Well, it'd be nice, but there's more to it. Anyway, so recently, Heated Rivalry came out, and I saw bits and pieces about it, and I kind of rolled my eyes at it, and I was like, I couldn't watch Heartstopper. I kind of blamed that for my relationship ending, even though we were not a good fit for each other, and that show helped my ex realize that more firmly, and he was the one that initiated a lot of the breaking up, which was something that needed to be done, and I was too scared to do it. So he kind of both set us free. Not that we were trapped, but you know what I mean. Like he broke us out of that shell. He took the hammer and did it, not me. But I was like, I couldn't watch Heartstopper because I felt too bad about seeing young gay guys in love, or queer, bi, whatever their sexuality ends up being in the show. I'm not sure because I haven't watched it. But maybe I will now. But Heartstopper, like, couldn't deal with it. And I was like, well, that doesn't really even have sex in it. That is, young adult. I couldn't handle Heated Rivalry if there's, like, actual sex, if it's, like, a little more graphic, if it's a little more real, I guess. Or adult, I should say, not real. I was like, I can't handle it. There's no way. And then, like I think I mentioned earlier, I'm a therapist. I work the context of the show, people talking about it, started to appear in my work. I was like, oh. And it kind of cracked their shells too. And they were kind of having little renaissances of their own, of like, oh, shit, there's more to life. And apparently that's happening for people everywhere. There's something about this show that was magical in a way that cracked a lot of people out of their shells. It was like a force, like a shockwave, that people are taking advantage of the cracks in the shell to kind of peer out and break out and all that kind of stuff. And it's doing that for me. But to use my shell metaphor a little more, the shell is also something that we're connected to. We live in it. It's a part of us in a way. So that cracking sometimes really hurts. Just like it hurt for me to leave Provincetown. Just like it's scary to try new things. Just like it's painful to think that the current circumstances are trapping you or making you feel certain ways. So the shockwave from Heated Rivalries hitting me, and it not only like cracked my shell, it like shattered it. Like imagine like superhero movies, somebody has like a sonic scream ability and the windows shatter into a bajillion pieces. Like that's what's happening to me. I'm a mess. I'm crying, I'm laughing, I'm like so hopeful about the future, and then another minute I'm like doom and gloom, like there might as well be a cloud hanging over my head raining on me as I walk around. So I've kind of lost my original intention of making this, but I feel good talking about it. It's comforting. But yeah, so it's kind of made me think of like, you've been so unhappy for most of your life. You've not only been unhappy, but also the things that you have thought about that might make you a little happier, you have not let yourself do. You haven't let yourself go to a pride. You haven't let yourself go to a gay bar and just kind of let loose. You haven't let yourself dance in public. You haven't let yourself sing karaoke before. You don't let yourself dress the way you want because you're afraid that it's going to attract too much attention. You don't make eye contact with people because you think it'll make them uncomfortable, or you're afraid they're going to judge you. So I'm holding myself back in all these ways. Here's another me talking to myself, you want to be fit. You want to feel better, not only about the way I look, but also literally my physical capabilities. Like, I used to be very fit as a kid, but now I should not be winded carrying groceries. I should not get tired from a flight or two of stairs. I don't want that for me. I know that for me, I can do more and I want to, but for so long I was like, no, dude, you're not going to the gym. What's the point? You're going to get stared at. People are going to chuckle at you, film you on their phones. Like, it's going to be a waste of time. You're never going to go. You're not going to do it. You're going to give up after a week and you're going to have wasted your money, etc., yada, yada, yada. But I'm kind of forcing myself to go a little more because ultimately the person that has the control over that is me. And it's in my hands. And I think that's kind of a piece that connects me with the Heated Rivalry show is like, again, I have not finished it. I've only finished episode 3, so apparently 4, 5, and 6 it gets like fantastic. So I'm excited for that. But like even this far in, it's like the things that will make these guys happy are there. They're very reachable. There's a lot of scary stuff in the way. There's a lot of risk, but their happiness is within reach. The things they would need to do are hard and they may have consequences, but it's clear how happy they are when they're, with the guy that they're into. It's there. Like, they can reach out and touch it, touch each other. But there's just this fear and this self-limiting that is blocking it. And of course that creates the drama, so. But I think that strikes a chord with me and with a lot of other people that we do stand in our own way. We do have a lot more capabilities than we think. There is a lot more possible for us. And I am happy that it's doing this for me and other people. The cracking of the shell, the breakdown that it causes is very painful. It made me cry my eyes out last night, thinking of like, how will anyone ever love me like that? Will I ever experience passion? Will I ever experience true dedication and romance and love? And how could anybody like me in that type of way? How could anybody be that excited to see me again or wait months to see me again so we can kiss, or who would get home to me and be so happy to see me again that they just rush into my arms and hug me and cuddle me and kiss me. Like, I cannot imagine that feeling. And that's scary because it's like, oh shit, well, I want that. I want it badly. And I've never even gotten truly close to feeling like that. Not on that level, at least. And I want it. And yeah, it's a fictional show. Yeah, it's fictional characters, but it's something that I crave so deeply. And getting to that requires some other shells cracking. I need to, dating is not going to be the thing that brings me that. It's going to be deeper than that. There's going to be more to it. And a thing that is going to play a pretty key role in that is me making these changes. Me doing things differently. And that's hard to do too, because again, like, as I was crying the other night, I was thinking to myself, like, oh fuck, like, I'm not going to be able to do any of that. Like, I'm not going to be able to put myself out there. I'm not going to be able to do anything differently. I'm going to be the same kind of miserable, grumpy person who fakes being happy just so I can muddle through life. I'm just going to do that. Things are going to stay the same, and I'll grow old and die. Because the clock is ticking for everybody. We don't get more years back. And again, I think that's another thing of like, because these romances span chunks of time, it's like, it does make me think of like, well, what if it would have happened if they could have gotten together right away and things could have not had the hiccups and there could have been less fear and just more letting yourself be happy and fighting the consequences because the happiness is worth it. And I know that they'll probably get there in the show, but I'm there now in my life. So, yeah. I think that the show, it's very sexy. It's good. And I am biased about it because it has struck such a deep chord within me, and it has really kind of like basically grabbed me by the skull and made me look at my own feelings, how my own life is, and be like, I don't need to be a hockey player. I'm not going to go do that. I don't have an interest in that. But I do have an interest in feeling loved, in feeling love for somebody else to that level, in experiencing genuine happiness, not a fleeting chuckle. And yeah, life will throw difficulties anyway, but I like to even experience it for a minute. I'm in my own way for that, and I want to feel that so bad. I don't want to be sad for the rest of my life because it's draining, and it is kind of killing me. Like, if I live my life this way, it'll shave years off my life. I'll probably get health problems. I know I already have anxiety, partially because I'm so anxious. Like, I sit in certain ways, so my posture's really messed up. I don't look at people in the eye unless I'm working. So like I constantly am looking down and my neck hurts, like always looking at my feet. So I now in my even when I'm alone and I know no one's looking at me, I walk a little strange because I won't look ahead of me. I'll look directly down kind of at my feet and where my feet are going. I won't look at my surroundings. So like that has taken already so much from me. Physically, mentally, like I'm sure there's been amazing things that my eyes never got to see because I was too busy trying to avoid other people and what they may even think of me. So that is my very long-winded, roundabout, rambling way of kind of getting my thoughts out there that so far what I've watched of it, I've really liked. It's made me think a lot. It's made me happy. It's made me sad. It's given me hope. Pieces of me have been like, don't get your hopes up, dude. You are just going to fuck it up. You are just going to be miserable. Don't get excited because when it goes up in flames, it's going to be real disappointing. But the thing is, I'm already disappointed. I'm already unhappy. I'm already sad. I'm already experiencing these problems. So why not? Why not try? Some of the worst stuff that can happen to people has already happened to me, and it's already happening in the world. So me trying to be happy, even if it doesn't go well, it's still worth it because as I get older, I'm not going to get time back. And not that you can't, find love as you get older, but like, I don't want to not try. If it's possible now, I want to go for it. And it's a lot of work and it's tiring even talking about it. But I mean, honestly, even recording this is kind of a big deal. It's kind of important, It's healing for me, I guess. Because truly, I never have had much courage to post anything online. I streamed for literally like a week or two. And I have the videos saved somewhere, but I don't really know. I didn't do much with them. I didn't stick with it. I didn't think people would be into it. I didn't think people would like me or like my voice or be interested to hear what I had to say or the jokes I had to make. And I know this isn't very funny. It's pretty heartfelt and deep and blah, blah, blah. But, maybe this is the start of me trying more stuff too. I don't know. I don't know if I'll post this anywhere. I don't know what I'll do with it. But it's good that I did it because ultimately whatever happens to this set of data that's going to be saved as a recording. It's nice to say it out loud, even if no one else ever hears it. Because I've heard myself say it, and, it's nice to finally kind of get that stuff out there. Now I'm kind of like just exaggerating the length of this, and it's already pretty damn long. So, yeah, if for some reason I do anything with this audio and you're listening to it, I guess let me know your thoughts, whether you're my friend or stranger or whatever, and like I said, kind of at the very beginning, this is happening to a lot of people. There's been other cultural things that have really cracked people's views of the world wide open. And I just think, for me, particularly, it's really doing that to a intense degree. And it's scary, and it makes me very sad and very upset. But also, there is a decent bit of hope there, and there's like almost a fervor and excitement to try. So, yeah. And hopefully I will keep trying, and I will keep on trucking. And maybe I'll record something again soon. I don't know. But, yeah. Bye.